Hello, my friends. TGIF. It is Friday after a long week. Um, yeah, so Sunday there was a big old storm, nice old power outages. Power outages that continued for about 24 hours. So yeah, I didn't even put up. I tried to stream on Sunday, and it was like 15 minutes, and the power went out. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's that. So now I'm coming at you with some magic. The it's been stable, you know. I'm still sick, but you know what can we do about that? I worked today, so I get to stream today too. Um, and we finally have Karlov Manor is out. White or blue spells, huh? Well, I guess we'll warm up a little bit with our quest, but then I definitely want to check out some Karlov Manor Limited. Warm water, a must. Hi, DMK. How's it going? Our quest is white or blue spells, so I figure doing some mono white will work well. You're cooking on old school RuneScape as a smackdown in the background. Cool. I hope you enjoy that. Back a creature?
Help, but I'm taking the credit when we win. One of your friends has to leave.
When you do quests, you try to make sure each card has the two colors, because if they share one card equals two if they share both. Yeah, I probably should do that, but I dislike playing white blue.
Sorry, I'm not interested in dying today.
Bad move.
Anyone who harms my people must contend with me. I am almost sad to see you go. Strike fast and strike hard.
That's your playstyle. Everyone has different playstyles. Yeah. I don't have any white blue decks right now that I like. You know, I actually tend to do monocolor decks a lot. I just realized. I don't know what that says about me, but yeah, that is a common theme.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
Almost halfway there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, DMK, have you played any Karlov Manor? Have you been liking it? I haven't done any yet. I've been waiting patiently. Also, basically just been collapsing after work on the days that I do work, and being collapsed on the days when I'm sick. It was a bad week, y'all. It was bad. You run a white, blue removal, bounce, reflectomage, 3-drop enchant that can't attack, block, or activate abilities. Oh, and flyers. You only did the Wednesday weekly thing? Oh, okay. I don't know why they did that. Glissa is actually a really good counter to this deck because it's Death Touch first strike, so it doesn't matter how big my guy gets until it gets indestructible. But she can also deal with that because if she deals combat damage, I think she can remove counters from things, right? The new Massacre Girl for Commander. Did I do it? You'll have to be more specific. Yes, I have memorized her flavor text because it's hilarious. Massacre Girl Known Killer, I think is her name. Only $15? Nice. Hmm. Um. See who can gain more life, I guess. Mm. You ordered a few cards for your Xanthar deck and got 4 of the black and white Eldraine lands that attack and ping for 2 and gives you 2 life. Hmm. Hmm. It'd be great to be doing all this with Resplendent Angel out, but, I need to survive first. I don't really have time to build. Oh, great. I have first strike too. They have another one. Well, that explains their eagerness. Hmm. That'll get us some blockers. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I did correct math there. Cool. I wonder if that was enough. It was. Okay, so limited. Usually I do sealed first. I have the gems for it, so yeah, I guess we'll do some sealed. It's like you play with everyone's day all on your turn. You just take what you want to make your game state better or prevent your opponents from comboing off. Okay. You play with everyone's deck on your turn. That makes more sense. Oh, hey, look, I got Big Boy Croco. So I think I'm doing green-blue. Just kind of initially looking here. Maybe do green, blue, black. Hi, Super Base. Indeed, it is sealed time. I'm going to. We got the big Croco boy, so I think I'm gonna do Simic. Let's just do green, blue, and see what we come up with here. I do have Aurelia as well. Not really in my colors, but Pride runs into the problem that it just becomes a wall. You deck yourself giga fast with it. Mm. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah, because it draws you 15 cards. If you don't have anything to have like unlimited hand size, I guess that's not really that good. Let's look at Lightning Helix. Um See, I got like a couple more kind of blue and green things, which is why I was like, oh, the majority of rares. But yeah. We can try to do red white instead. I have no huge connection to the Croco boy. I just recognized him. Hilarious. Um Doggo. I mean, but red and what? Blue? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had been thinking like green, blue, black, just from what I got, but You're saving your gold to get the Beholder companion tomorrow for when you play Xanthar. Because you gotta make the deck more evil. Welcome to why you dislike Sealed, by the way. It lets you assimilate people's decks with yours. Oh, okay. Hmm. One, two with upside for one doesn't seem bad. Living Conundrum scares you just because of that hexproof, but it's so late. No, it stops you from decking yourself. So I guess, theoretically, if you had the turtle guy, he protects you from decking yourself out. I was actually thinking about maybe putting in black to have some more removal, because I don't think I have a lot. I only have 6 non-creature spells. So Lightning Helix is 1. Makeshift Binding is 2. Make Your Move is 3. Cornered Crook is kind of 4. Torch the Witness is 5. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. We can do some combat tricks too, which I think will help. Okay. Let's just do this. Let us just do this. Do do do. I feel like having a lot of removal makes sense for this set's theme. Big thing on Aurelia, she counts if they attack you too. Okay. Lots of ooze decks are being played in Historic and Explorer. Interesting. Oh, shock. Takes out one of them. It's a 3-drop sorcery card that makes a 2/2 ooze +1 for each other spell of the same card. You can have as many as you want in the deck. I want to draw, so. Blood a little? We're getting into hashtag territory. Um, I mean, Aurelia did get removed, but... And I did Flood. I drew like 4 lands in a row, so, eh. I used to see Mythic Orange players. It was mainly in the closed beta. I think now the odds are just so low. I will never see one again. Seems decent. I'm so tired of being sick. Like, I'm just so over it. No time off for being sick? You thought there were laws put in place to prevent people from being sick going to work? Oh, DMK. Do you live in the US? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I do. I work at a place that has sick leave. Um, I'm lucky that I have that. The problem is, um, I have difficulty taking time off because, like many companies, they build very little redundancy in. So if I'm out, the work doesn't get done. And it's basically why I don't take vacation either. Yeah, so I mean, the fact is I have like a good job and still end up working when I'm sick because I care about my job. Do they know I'm sick? Yeah. Yes, they do. But I have a technology job, so I can work from home, so I don't expose anybody. So they don't care. Or if they do care, they, don't say anything about it. And, I should probably be grateful that I'm so important and irreplaceable. But yeah, I don't know. I've been trying my best to train other people to do some of my things when I'm not there. And, it works to a degree. I don't have an artifact to sacrifice. I don't know if I'm gonna have an artifact to sacrifice. I might just want to drop the thing. It's also a problem where I've I've been sick for 2 weeks, 2.5. I don't even know anymore. I've been sick a long time, so it's like I'm supposed to take like a month off work. Like that doesn't work. That'll get me there if they don't have removal. Sweet. Yay! One could also argue that if I was able to take vacations more, maybe I wouldn't get so sick. I don't know. Yeah, I've always been a person who gets sick a lot, and I think part of that just has to do with underlying stress in my life, um, which I'm like now starting to mitigate a certain amount of. Finding out that I'm autistic was really helpful, I think, um, because now I've been taking steps to take care of my sensory needs, which I've always been aware that I had sensory needs, but I tried to ignore them in order to like be normal, which I now recognize is like kind of insane and stupid, but didn't know any better. But all that to say is I've accumulated a lot of stress over the years, and if I were able to if I were able to be in a healthier spot to begin with, maybe I wouldn't get sick so much. What happens on the planet when I'm sick? The days you have a hard time sleeping or wake up early, an earthquake usually happens. Huh. Well, I am definitely sensitive to the world around me, but oh, all right. Um like for example, yesterday I called out of work because not only am I dealing with the cold and the congestion in my ears, which is painful, um but I also had a smoke alarm low battery chirp start at 4:30 a.m. So I was awake at 4:30 a.m. and couldn't go back to sleep. There was an earthquake in California and Hawaii. Um and that was too much. I couldn't deal with that. So it's like, you're stacking the suffering and you can keep going a certain amount, but if it's too many things stacked on you, you just can't. And I'm finding I kind of get to that just can't a lot sooner as I've gotten older. And I think part of that, like I was saying, is just the accumulated stress over years and years and years and years and years and years and years of not meeting my needs and trying to be like other people. I couldn't reach it. I had to call maintenance. So I just dealt with it for hours. Yeah. They came at like 2 the same day, which was good. I actually do have a step ladder. That's the funny thing. Still couldn't reach it. Ceilings are a little high. So, come on, land. Yay! I don't know, it's high. It's over. They already came and changed it, so. Yeah, my parents actually got me a step stool for Christmas, which was nice. Because, I'm short. It was the high ground. The point is, stuff like that happens, and I think for other people, maybe that would just be an annoyance. But for me, I was not able to function. Okay, Aurelia's punching some faces. You're 6'4" when you stand. You can't stretch. Have to sit and stretch or go outside. It's pretty tall. Do you mean that you're 5'4"? Because otherwise you wouldn't understand, because 6'4" is tall. Oh, he can't stretch indoors. He has to go outside or sit down. Okay. Ceilings are a pain to him for the opposite reason. Got it. Okay. I was confused. Um, Maybe I'll use lightning helix on that. I don't know. Flyers can be a pain, so. You would, you would like my new place. It has pretty high ceilings. Unfortunately, that also makes it cold as hell. We're just running the heater all the time. Lower sink hurts your back. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was like, like an okay deal. Okay, I hope you enjoy drink. Alternatively, I can also just not have any creatures. That is also a thing. It is stunned. I don't think I'm gonna win this round. We'll see, but it's not looking good. Shock see Vindicator's backside getting this much value. I mean, yeah, it's been 2 games that it got really helped our opponent. I'm gonna put this back in hand so I can. Yeah. But I think we're dead. Yep, that is death. Hashtag. Indeed. Yeah, so my life right now has been working. It has been streaming when I can, watching TV, and then like feeding myself. I don't know. Just like hoping that things will get better soon. And I feel weird complaining about it because it's like things really aren't that bad, you know. You get yourself a bottle of rum once a year, only time you drink in the year. I guess. Hi, Duck God. It's going okay. I actually I should have looked at my record. I don't know what it is. We're not dead yet. I think we've lost twice. I'm not sure how many we've won. I'm gonna guess we're either 2-2 or 3-2, but I legit don't remember which. How are you doing, Duck God? No, I know we've lost twice because we lost the last game, and I remember we lost the first game. And I was like, oh, we had Aurelia, but it got removed, but I flooded and blah blah blah. Like, remember that? Ba ba ba. That seems like a good block. Gonna throw this guy down. Hey, look, I have another detective. This flyer's kind of an issue, though. I like the suspected icon. You see it in the left side of the car? A lamplight phoenix. Yeah, it's true. Also Aurelia. Who, if I'm quite honest, I'll probably cast first. I was just saying there's the binding, and you can't use it against itself. It's only creature. I'm gonna kill their lord. This gets a lot more manageable if I do. Oh yes, it does. Thank you. I think I want my Aurelia back. Oh, well, the camera itself, doesn't actually do the following. It is a software that I use, called NVIDIA. You're very, very determined to have me not have any blockers. Yeah, so that might be something to look into. If it is something that interests you. I'm really glad I got rid of that Detective Lord. I stand by that decision. Nice. Yeah, thankfully it swings 5, yeah. Yeah, Aurelia likes the dog walker. Bashua. For answers? You stopped your internet, it was going to be expensive? So do you watch Twitch on data? He has 2 of these. Wow. I don't have an artifact to sack. Kill both of them. That was maybe a little bit overkill. A little bit overkill. Okay, so now we're gonna see my record. um, so 2 losses. I was right about that. And I was right about 3 wins too, I think. Oh no no no. It would have been 2 wins at that point. So or oh no, I guess I'm at 4 wins now. Whatever. Point is, we're still alive, and the other point is it is time to run an ad break. So I will BRB. Alright, we're back again, and I got some warm water so I can breathe in some steam. You were paying $100 for PC internet and $40 for mobile internet. Then you got accepted on getting internet cheaper, and that brought it down to $78. But that program ends this month, so you canceled your internet and updated your mobile data plan. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, you don't want to pay twice. So, like, yeah. I wish that being budget conscious wasn't as tiring as it is. You know? Like, there are certain apps that you can do to, like, make it a little easier, but ultimately it does still require a lot, like, a fair amount of mental energy. And you have to consider, like, there are so many people who are exerting their mental energy minimum 8 hours a day to try to separate you from your money. I don't like this hand. I'm gonna mulligan that. I mean, no creatures, but I think this is better. You've been without internet for a couple of months, so you're getting used to it, and you realized you're not spending a lot of money on Steam. That's good. There you go. Yeah, finding ways to stop yourself from spending money is not to be overlooked. Just realized this is twice X. That's really easy to do. You spend $20 a month on Arena just to get mastery? No. Don't do that. Free to play. Free to play. Yeah, I don't bother with mastery at all. Oh, this is back? I'm legit not sure which one I'm gonna kill. Probably the first striker? I don't know. It gives you more cards for the collection, sleeves, and alt art. Companion, avatar, and a sleeve. You were gonna draw $50 to get a lot of packs, but you talked yourself out of it. Yeah, dude, at least get physical cards, man. Still has first strike, though. It's kind of a problem. You buy physical cards still. I think I'm gonna try to keep my keep a good number. Oh, try to keep a good number of stuff out in case I get Aurelia. You know. I've been buying physical cards as much as I had in the past. Boy, that is really annoying. That like lightning effect. That's the last time I can do that. I'm gonna hardcast it. I don't care. Bye bye, Lamplight. You absorbed 3 removal spells. You did good. I should be able to turn down the game graphics. I agree. Really? They top decked that? Hot dang. Ruh-roh. Suddenly they have sky presence. It's already on low. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Gee, I wonder what that could be. Probably a good choice. Ugh. 15 cards left. We are starting to look at hashtag territory. They're being conservative, so that's good. Yeah. That is a game. Wait, no, it's not. I can block it without killing it. Monorelia. Well, you know what? We'll go out swinging, I guess. Really? I couldn't get there? Dang it! I don't win, I lose. And this time, I do have to block it. And it deals 2 damage to me and I die. Not quite. I went positive. I think it was 4 and 3? Yeah, 4 and 3. Not bad. Ooh, I have a lot of packs. You guys like seeing packs being opened? The crazy thing is, if we had top decked Aurelia at any time, we would have won, basically. We just needed that Aurelia because she has haste. Dopamine fix the CPAC openings. Good. Enjoy. So I think what I'm going to do next is do what I was trying to do on Sunday, and that is to show you my janky mono red deck. It does Millennium Calendar and All Will Be One with Urbrast's Forge as a backup plan and synergy. These. I don't play that format. I got a wild card though. I play wildcard format.